society, you have an abundance of what? Hospitals. Okay? Have an abundance of hospitals, you have to have also what? An abundance of prescription medications. So you have multi-billion-dollar companies like Pfizer and so on and so forth that'll give you something for a chest cold but to kill your liver. Give you something for your liver to kill your kidneys. You know? And if you listen to some of these things like uncontrollable diarrhea. For a chest cold, I stick with the cold. Eat me some garlic and call it one. Yeah. But you know, again, this is some of the madness that's going on. And when you read stuff like this, you have to remember that you're going back into dealing with the European nowadays. What he's created for himself is another medieval Europe. Okay? So believe it or not, you're in the Dark Ages once again. Okay? And the Jesuits, as everyone knows, you have Pope Benedict now, right? They call him the White Pope. You also have a man called the Black Pope.
Go ahead.
Okay?
Go ahead.
It's not a brother.
Oh.
The word black in occult science means that which is hidden. You know, you hide something where? Do you hide it in the light or you hide it in the dark?
Yeah.
You hide it in the dark. Okay? The word, there's 3 words that you have, that are aligned to that point. And that's arcane, esoteric, and occult. All 3 of those words mean to hide, or hidden. Okay? And the Black Pope and the Catholic Church is, basically like the brother capsulizing those 3 elements. The number 1 landowners on the planet, they went to slavery, all this kind of stuff. And they were also the ones that unified Europe. Hustling that. You remember when the government was going through, they still are going through financial trouble, but about 3 months ago, when they didn't know if they were going to make the budget, and then we don't know if we're going to be able to send out the government checks. You know that's going to affect food stamps too, right? You see? So here's the thing about food stamps that's so interesting, is that you'll get accustomed to that certain amount coming in, okay? So you don't work any really harder because you know you got that amount coming in. So you get kind of comfortable, you see? But what if that amount did not come in? How many people here have children? Okay? Have you ever looked at your child in the face and seen hunger? No? You don't want to. You see? Because in America here, by you being here in the commercial hub of the Moorish Empire, y'all haven't suffered like your brothers in the East. You see? And there's a reason for that. And y'all like to, I say y'all, have to get past my ears first. We like to, extend our hand across seas and, and tie issues up with our brothers in Africa. But you have to realize they're separate issues. They're separate clan and tribal issues. We're all Moors, all right? But there's different issues. Everybody remember the Liberia thing? I know I'm kind of jumping, but it's going to tie in. Liberia, okay? Remember when they took the so-called slaves from here and sent them to Liberia? What happened? Do you remember what happened? Anybody study that? The brothers from here got to Liberia and enslaved the people in Liberia. Just got out of slavery, and got to Liberia and strong-armed the brothers that were there. You see, and put them, and even to this day, the ruling families of Liberia all bear English names. What's the sister's name now? Sirleaf, Johnson Sirleaf. Does that sound African? Any particular African dialect to you? Okay? This was Africa, okay? Militarily, you know that, you have to protect your frontal line and your flanks, all right? And then you have a rear. Everybody clear on that? Okay? Let's say Europe comprises this segment up here. I'll shape it. Okay, let's say that was Europe. Okay? The Romans have begun to come down into northern Africa. Okay? Anybody know Hannibal? Okay? Who was Hannibal? Real quick, nothing deep. Exactly. Okay? He was the one that was taught by his father to attack Rome before Rome attacked us. Okay? That's an old fight going way back. You've been waging war with these same people for over 2,000 years. Okay? So they had begun to push in, and they had taken over all of northern Africa. Okay? That's inclusive of our empires of Egypt, Tunisia, Algeria, which you know as now as Libya, and Morocco. All that was Roman territory. Okay? Year, 610 AD. A little humble man in Arabia, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, received a vision. There's a long story attached with that. But he got, sent with this inspiration to launch forth this message to unite his people, right? Little did he know that this message that he launched out was going to sweep across the planet and wage war against that which Rome was doing.
That's right.
Okay? So what happens is, what year did the Moors invade Spain?
711.
711 AD. Okay? What year did the Prophet Muhammad pass home? We don't say die. That's what, yeah, exactly. I avoid that term because Allah says, those, don't say those that die, going like that die, but they live on. Okay, so I'm trying to stay within law on that. Okay? Yes, sir. But what year did he go to the next round? 632. Okay? So yeah, 632. He passes form. Okay? Moors invade 711. Okay? So what do we have? 79 years later. 79 years later, you have a people that was pumped up with so much zeal, right? From this message that swept across Northern Africa. From the time of 632, we had pushed to 711, we had pushed all the Europeans out of Northern Africa with one ideology, which is a political ideology. We're going to go into that later on, of how Islam is not only a religion, but it's also a legal system. So when I read hadith that say the Prophet Muhammad pointed at the moon and half of it split and went down behind the horizon, he pointed at it again and it went back and got back together, that's spookism. That's created to rival the teachings and the followers of Jesus, because they had stories on that. But the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, my greatest miracle was the Quran. That was it. And if he said, if I had any idea of what was going to go on tomorrow, I wouldn't have the problems going on in my life today. He was a real simple man. You see? And then the Quran, truthfully, doesn't call him Prophet Muhammad. It says Rasulullah Muhammad. When you take your shahada, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Nabiullah or Rasulullah. Rasulullah, which means messenger of Allah. So the Prophet, how'd that get in? Once again, trying to rival the Hebrews who had all these different prophets. And what that meant to the Hebrews. You see? Not saying that Rasulullah wasn't a prophet. We're just saying he didn't say that of himself. And it's a great crime, it's considered treason in Islam to say something about Allah which he did not say or sanction. You see? And that destabilizes the state. Because think about that, the rumors that start in, let's look on a secular level, okay? The things, lies that are created, let's say on Obama. Obama said this and that, I didn't say that. But then it gets down to the people's mind, now the Tea Party can't hear that he didn't say that. You see? So Islam cut that off at the chase and said, don't do it on the divine level if you wouldn't do it on the national level. Okay? Now, you gotta follow their laws, right? Okay? But you have your own laws, right? And when you study international law, because you gotta study constitutional and international law, okay? Because the United States does not live in a bubble, okay? Let's break it down on a carnal level and then raise it back up, okay? You have a man and a woman. We're all no children here, okay? You have a man and a woman. They get together and they have what's called intercourse, right? That intercourse gives birth to a life, right? Once that life is born, now commerce and trade has to be generated to take care of that life. Simple concept, right? We're all in tune with that, okay? Did you know in international law, when two nations are communicating with each other, it's called intercourse? You see? And then once that intercourse is maintained, acquired, the first thing they start talking about is not ideology, it's commerce and trade. We haven't got to that point yet. We're still debating who's right. Whose ideology is deeper. Whose book is right. Whose hat looks better with this outfit. I don't like that hat. I don't like the fez. It wouldn't go with it. I'm not going to wear that. You don't have to wear it. It's for those who know. You see? But at the same time, doesn't make it still not mean that it's not your birthright. You see? All right, but we're not realizing that we're arguing with things that have no basis in reality. You see? Because those who know are dealing, they take the things that we deal with on an everyday level, deal with it on an international level and become successful based on that. You see? And these are principles that you gave them and forgot about, which is why you're not successful. We're in violation of too many principles to want to be right or to be successful. Okay? Okay, next. Laws, this might sound crazy, but I'll explain. Laws banning sex during menstrual. Okay? What that constitutes is public health laws. Okay? Don't you have a Department of Health? Isn't their duty to make sure that communicable diseases don't transfer person to person? Okay? Your forefathers were already dealing with that.
Wow.
Already dealing with it. You know what I'm saying? Because you cannot have a civilized society and not have that.
That's right.
You see? Again, this is not the Islam on CNN. I have to keep saying that. Okay? This is Moorish Islam. Yes.
When I first got married the first time, they had like take a blood test.
Yes, sir.
Put it on. Everybody get married.
Mm-hmm.
Now when I think about it, the reason why they were doing that.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I don't think they do that anymore.
they still do it, but remember the blood tests were because of the amount of amalgamation. They wanted to make sure that a lot of Asiatics who had a lighter hue, who were what they call passing, weren't marrying European women. That's what that started at. Research, it's a law called the Mann Act, okay, where they locked up the boxer Jack Johnson for crossing state lines with European women. That was the birth of the RICO Act. That's how that started. Okay? Next, laws on oath. Okay? Sounds simple, right? When you go to court, don't you take an oath? I swear or affirm that the statement that I'm about to give. You see, there's laws concerning that. Your forefathers were already dealing with that. Okay? We were very serious. The Moors were very serious about your word. You couldn't give your word to us and break it. I couldn't give my word to Imam Umar that I was going to come here from Atlanta and not come. Because that would mean in our society that I'm nothing. You see? He should be able to look at me with disgust from that point on. And in fact, should be able to call the ulama together, make a ruling against me, and have my hand cut off. Because I'm a thief, because I stole from his time. You see? That's how your forefathers, when you talk about civilization builders, this is who you were. You know, and you have laws to prove that. It had nothing to do with a European. Period. Okay? The next two, divorce laws. And those in the Quran are so intricate. Okay? Because it's forbidden for a man to just leave a woman and just, like, I'm just leaving because of whatever. No. It's you know, there's categories that have to be fulfilled. She has to be maintenance for 1 year at least, has to be maintained for her. You know, that's whatever European court. We didn't need a European court to tell us that, 50% of your wages or child support. You know how many brothers have paid child support? Anybody? Brother. I'm with all my kids, but I'm a barber, so I hear brothers come to me like I'm a psychiatrist, right? Dr. Phil Beck, right? And I hear stuff, man. My heart goes out to them, man, because like I know how proud we are, as Moorish men. You know what I'm saying? And to have to stand before a judge and deliberate about a child that you helped bring into the world. The judge was not in the. Be real with y'all. The judge wasn't in the bedroom when y'all made that baby. So it has no business. You have no business before the judge dealing with the rights of that child. You two adults should have a divine creed and birthright real quick attached. And that's working for you to such a degree. You can come together and you can't arbitrate it. You come to the Imam, you come to the governor, you come to the Shelk, whoever it is, and arbitrate it because we're more learned than the law. You see? And then we arbitrate it without even seeing a European. You see? And this is the paradigm that we have to get ready to go into because we're constantly taking all of our affairs before the European. You know what Raleigh told us in 1928? Don't take your affairs before the European. If two brothers are beefing, y'all deal with it. Right now, as a grand governor, I hold a pretty high post in the temple. But my head is on the chopping block because I'm bound by law. And I got people I got to answer to. And if I get out of pocket, I get tried. We have our own trials. You stand trials and you get punishments and all of that. You see what I'm saying? And I'll gladly, because the part of the oath you have to take to become a Moorish official is that you have to be willing to go through those punishments. You see? That's how it